there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimikung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chapter 6, Section 3 of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Ass.
Ah.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Author Conan Doyle. Chapter 6, Section 3. So sorely, and yet afraid to break in upon the current of his thoughts. We had driven several miles, and were beginning to get to the fringe of the belt of suburban villas, when he shook himself, shrugged his shoulders. That he is acting for the best. You have a grand gift of silence. What then, said he? It makes you quite invaluable as a companion. On my word. It is a great thing for me to have someone to talk to, for my own thoughts are not over pleasant. Italy. It seems absurdly simple, and yet somehow I can get nothing to go upon. There is plenty of thread, no doubt, but I can't get the end of it into my hand. Then I'll state the case clearly and concisely to you. Watson, proceed. Some years ago 'twill be different. In the there came to Lee a gentleman, Neville Street, Clare by name, who appeared to have plenty of money. He took a large villa, laid out the grounds very nicely, and lived generally in good style. By degrees he made friends in the neighbourhood, and in 1887 he married the daughter of a local brewer. By whom he now has 2 children. He had no occupation. Warning. Returning by the 514 from Canning Street every night. With his Sturt. Clare is now 37 years of age. Is a man of temperate habits. A good husband. A very affectionate father. And a man who is popular with all who know him. I may add that his hold debts at the present moment, as far as we have been able to ascertain, amount to 88 October 22nd, 2023, while he had 220 standing to his credit in the Capital and Counties Bank. There is no reason, therefore, to think that money troubles have been weighing upon his mind. Last month, Mr. Neville Street, Clare went into town rather earlier than usual, remarking before he started that he had 2 important commissions to perform, and that he would bring his little way home a box of bricks. And, by the merest chance, his wife received a telegram upon this same Monday, very shortly after his departure, was waiting for her at the offices of Aberdeen Shipping Company. And, if you are well up in your London, you will know that the office of the company is in Fresno Street, which branches out of Upper Swandam Lane. Where you found me tonight? My Sturt. Clare had her lunch, started for the city, did some shopping, proceeded to the company's office, got her packet, the station. If you remember, Monday was an exceedingly hot day, and my street Clare walked slowly, seeing a calf herself, while she was walking in this Widan Swandon Lane heard an ejaculation or cry down at her end, as it seemed to heard a second floor window. The window was open and she distinctly saw his face, which she described as being terribly agitated, or that he had been plucked back by some irresistible force from behind. Point which struck a quick feminine was that although he wore some dark coat, but as he had started to town in nor necktie, convinced that something was amiss with him first floor, at the foot of the stairs. However, Lascar scoundrel of whom I have spoken, he thrust her back by a Dane who works as assistant there street, filled with the most maddening doubts and fears lain end. By rare good fortune, with an inspector while on their way to there, two men accompanied her back proprietor, they made their way to the room in which Mr. Streetclear had last been seen. There was no sign of him there, in fact, save a crippled, racial suspect who, it seems, home there. Being in the front room during the afternoon, the inspector was staggered, and had almost come to believe that my Claire had been deluded when, with a cry, small deal box which lay upon the table and the lid from it, out there fell a cascade of children's books, had promised to bring home. This discovery showed made the inspector realised that the matter was serious, carefully examined, and results all pointed to an abominable crime, was plainly furnished as a sitting room and led into a small bedroom out upon the back of one of the wharves. Bedroom window is a narrow strip covered at high tide with at least 4.5 feet of water. The bedroom window was a broad one and open from below. Of blood were to be seen upon the windows visible upon the wooden floor of the bedroom. The front room were all the clothes of Mr. Neville Streetclear, with the exception of his coat, his boots, his sock, his hat, and his watch all were there. Of these garments, and there were no other traces of Mr. Neville's street or exit could be discovered. That he could save himself by swimming highest at the moment of the tragedy. To be immediately implicated in the matter, man of the vilest antecedents, but as by my street story a very few seconds of her husband's appearance at the window have been more than an accessory to the crime. Absolute ignorance of you being his lodger, way for the presence of the missing gentleman's clothes. So much for the Lascar manager, then Streetclear. His name is Hugh Boone, one which is familiar to every man who goes much to the city. A professional beggar to a small trade in wax fists. Some little distance down toward Needle Street, upon the left-hand side there is, as you may have remarked, small angle in the wall, fit cross-legged, with his tiny stock of matches on his lap, which lies upon the pavement beside him. Then once before ever I thought of making his professional acquaintance, been surprised at the harvest which he has reaped in a short time. Appearance, you see, observing him, a shock of orange hair, horrible scar which bites contraction of his upper lip, a bulldog chin, dark eyes which present a singular contrast to the colour of his hair, all mark him out from amid the common crowd of mendicants, and so too, says his wit, piece of chaff which may be thrown at him by the passers-by. That man, whom we now learn to have been the lodger at the opium den, but a cripple, said that he walks with a limp, powerful and well-nurtured man. Surely your medical experience would tell you, Watson. To be continued.